Yasu Malagedo. Welcome to the Malaka podcast. 1967, part 5.
When you look at the fact that you finally got over that first round hurdle and then you sort of counter it with what happened this round, how do you frame this season as far as what you accomplished?
Well, I believe we had a team good enough to win the Stanley Cup, and we didn't do that. But there's 8 teams left playing the second round here, and all 8 go into it with a belief that they could win the Stanley Cup, and 7 of them are going to be disappointed. We're one of those teams that's disappointed.
Mitch, how hard is it to process this one?
Yeah, obviously sucks. It's not how you want it to go, but
yeah, it's real tough. I mean, just you look around the room, and obviously, every guy, battles for each other, works for each other, and this is as tight of a group that I've played on, in my 7 years, and I think we played with some really great people, some really great teammates, and we've had some really tight groups. But it stings obviously to go out like that, and not get an opportunity to get another crack at it with all these guys.
It's tough to describe in the moment, honestly, and you're disappointed, and you feel for your teammates, you feel for everybody involved in the loss, and it takes some time to get over these.
Yeah, it's tough. I think everyone's disappointed in how everything ended. I know for myself, I think this is a special group of players, so when you don't reach the goal that you're looking to get, it's definitely disappointing.
Austin, what did you see as the difference in this series?
I mean, obviously, we dug ourselves in a bit of a hole there, and I think it was all...
We've been in a fucking hole since 1967. Ladies and gentlemen, there's so many tough things I've had to do in my life. Clearly, if you're one of my 3 fans that actually listens to this podcast, first of all, kudos to you. I really do appreciate it. Second, being a Leaf fan is just... the biggest cliche is just saying that being a Leaf fan is just extremely disappointing. It is. Every year, something happens in the Leafs organization, win a few games, they win here and there, whatever, and we get our hopes up. We really do get our hopes up. And we think to ourselves, this is going to be the year. This is going to be the year. Finally, we're one more year mature, one more year experience, one more year of reaching greatness. And of course, it's always one more year of, as they said, obviously sucks. Obviously just sucking. Obviously sucking the big one. It'll never end. If you're a Leaf fan, like I am, first off, I'm pretty sure that's what causes my stutter. Second, I was born in 1982, and I've yet to see a Stanley Cup. I tell people all the time that I think by 2030, the Leafs will win a Stanley Cup. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, why 2030? Well, I'm thinking to myself, okay, with the team that we have, the experience that we have, we should be able to gel together at one point, and this is, it should happen. It should obviously happen. But I think it's safe to say, since Matthews, Marner, and Nylander, got drafted, we thought to ourselves, okay, maybe it'll take a few years for these guys to gel together, and eventually they will kick ass. And it's Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's pretty safe to say that, just after listening to these voice clips, I don't know, maybe Marner's got more to say. I don't know. But it's just clear a lot of these guys, it's just the attitude is like they don't give a shit. I don't know. Maybe it's the next generation's hockey. I mean, growing up, I would see a lot of, the game as hockey has changed. Okay, like I don't gotta tell you that. I mean, it's not as tough anymore. You don't see as many fights. You don't see as many grinders. Nowadays, grinder means something else. But the point is, it's not the same game anymore. It's not. And I mean, for the tough guys that are out there, I mean, they're pretty much, I always say this, when it comes to the playoffs, it's a different game. That's when the toughness comes in, and that's where goalies really perform. I would say those two aspects specifically in the playoffs, especially when it comes to the NHL, Professional Hockey League, that's when those certain teams are going to shine. And I said, in the last podcast, I said, you know what, I didn't even bother celebrating. I didn't go downtown. It was a Saturday. I could have easily gone downtown, and there's a part of me that wanted to, but there's a part of me that's like, you know what, fuck it. I'm comfortable at home. I don't feel like going out. I really don't. I don't see the point. I mean, 19 years, we finally were able to go through, the playoffs here and go past the first round, and yeah, we finally did it. But then, I don't know, we're acting like we won the Stanley Cup. And there's a part of me that's like, okay, this is really cool. This is really awesome that we did this, finally. I mean, we finally got over that hump. But there's a part of me, I'm going to be completely honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, it's just fucking sad. I mean, it really is. And again, I'm not knocking anyone that celebrated downtown or nothing. I don't blame you. If you're down there, have a good time. Enjoy it. But there's a part of me that's like in some cities, like you barely see that kind of celebration. I mean, look back years ago when the LA Kings won the Stanley Cup, and they show areas where literally, not even exaggerating, there's literally a few people as they're going down the streets of the parade. It looks like they're going down a residential neighborhood. Nobody was aware that they won the Stanley Cup. Nobody gave a shit. Okay, now obviously hockey is a more Canadian, game. Obviously our number one sport is lacrosse, but let's be honest, number one is hockey. Okay, no matter how you slice it, it just is. And for the most part, we don't have that many Canadian teams left. I don't know. Maybe Hamilton will get a team one day. I don't know. Quebec, who cares? But the point is, for the most part, I grew up a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. Why? Because I'm from Toronto. I wasn't born here, but I was born in Calgary. It's a long story there. But parents opened up some sub shops. I don't know. They came back here. It was a whole thing. The point is, Toronto Maple Leafs mean a lot to me. They really do. I mean, to this day. But like I always tell people, I'm a realistic Leaf fan. Okay? But at the same time, we always still fall in those traps. I mean, and again, it goes back to the phrase, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. And we wished for Florida. We really did. Why? Because, anybody that is from Toronto is a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. We all know that, Boston just beats the shit out of us. They always do. It's just the way it is. Although I saw a thing online recently that they interviewed some people from Boston, and apparently they hate Montreal fans, Canadian fans, way more than they do the Leafs, apparently. So at least we got one thing in common. But at the same time, we just didn't want to go through that shit again. We all know what happened years ago. We were up that one game. I don't gotta fucking say it, but the point is, we just didn't want to go through that shit again. And why would you? Why would you want to be self-tortured again and again and again? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I got news for you. If you're a Leaf fan, it's just the way it is. This is the way it'll always be. I feel on some level it's a psychological thing. If you're a Leaf fan, you're probably into self-torture, maybe S&M. There's something probably mentally wrong with you. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of people, and I'm making a joke here. We got mental health really at a high crisis in Toronto right now. Okay, if you don't believe me, take the 510 Spadina streetcar anytime during the day, night. It doesn't get any better. But it's crazy. Like, it really is. But at the same time, I think there's a whole different level of people that think they're fine, but they're not. And I'd like to call them Toronto Maple Leaf fans. And unfortunately, I do fall in that category, as a lot of people do. And, obviously you can tell by the sound of my voice here. We ended up losing the series to Florida Panthers. Huge shocker there. In 5 games. And the problem was, I don't know where to begin here, but we lost the first 3 games. Okay, so I'm sorry, that's my mental computer alarm telling me that my blood pressure's getting a little high because I'm talking about the Leafs. So hopefully in the next 20 minutes I can still survive. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Oh, where were you in 1993 when we were in the playoffs? And it was Wayne Gretzky should have got that. That penalty. I love Gretzky. I hear you. I still think Bobby Orr's the best player of all time. But the point is, my computer cares for me. That's nice. That's nice. I appreciate that. Anyways, so 3 games to nothing. Okay, nobody expected the Leafs to come back. Nobody did. It's sad that we went out the way we did. That's all. I mean, technically, did we do better this year? No, but yeah. No, not well. Technically, we did. Okay, we got past the first. Okay, whatever. But like I said, like how much, like, is that really that much of accomplishment with the team we have? Is it really? I mean, is it that much? Is it that special that we did that? I mean, this is how, Is this our sad, how sad our lives have gotten? That if we get past the first round, it's basically like winning the Stanley Cup in Toronto. Like this is how, I'll be honest with you. Like this season, I did not watch a full game. I watched a little thing here and there, little clips. I never. Why? Why? Tell me why. There's no point. They sucked at me last year. I'm not gonna lie. Matthews got tons of goals. He broke some record, whatever. I don't know. People clearly forgot about that. Clearly, Matthews forgot to, score goals this series. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But the point is, it's what is the point of being a Leaf fan anymore? Why? You couldn't have picked a better color to represent the Leafs than blue. I mean, I did a podcast years ago about I called it Feeling Blue, talking about the police and the whole thing, concept of them wearing blue, you feeling blue, blah blah blah. It's just look into it. It's got it's got a decent amount of hits, for a guy that nobody knows about. But I'm thinking to myself, I made a mistake. I should have called this one Feeling Blue. But 1967, listen, you tell anybody that number in this in this beautiful Toronto area, okay? The mega city, as we used to call it years ago. But you mentioned the number 1967, and you will literally hear it comes with it. That's it. Certain numbers you hear in life, you just make a certain sound. 1967, that's one of them. 69, you laugh. But sometimes it creates a big sigh when you hear that number. 1967. It's a very, very long time ago, and people were like, "Oh my God, okay, they're down 3 games. Can they come back?" And people are like, "No, it's not going to happen. It's a laugh." And I remember, being on my way to work that day, and I said, what, I'm going to watch the game. I work security. I don't do anything anyway. So, I might as well just watch the game at work. And people, are like, "You gonna watch the game? You gonna watch the game?" And one of my friends asked me, "You gonna watch the game?" It just again, see certain things you say about the Leafs. It just you know, the Toronto Maple Laughs. It just, you know, I've been hearing that since the beginning of time. Okay, it just comes natural. That's all, you know. That's all. But I figured, you know what? I'm gonna watch the game, and even on the way there, you know, going downtown, I didn't see anybody. I didn't see any jerseys. I didn't see any shirts. I was the only dickhead that wore, you know, a shirt. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me wear my beautiful light blue Doug Gilmour and Wendell Clark shirt. It's a nice little shot of them, you know, them kind of talking to each other there on the ice, and you know, and then finally I'm about to cross the intersection on my way to work, and I see one person with a jersey. I'm like, there it is. You know, there's not one but two dickheads in this Toronto area that still think that the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to, you know, actually make it. You know, still there's still life there. You know, and I could talk about the 3 games, but who gives a shit, really? I mean, like we shouldn't be surprised at this point. I mean, you know, our goalie got injured. You know, we gotta worry about certain people not scoring, Matthews, and you know, just it really. Listen, you know what? Let's just get into that. So Matthews, you know, I heard somebody talking about Matthews the other day, and you know, they said like even the last game, you know, they were giving him a little shit. You know, they said, okay, you know what? He's going in. You know, they're going into the second period. You know, they're down whatever. You know, the 5th game, and can they come back? And is Matthews going to he's not the type of guy to give a speech or whatever. We don't know that. I mean, maybe he told people something in the thing. Like, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. But, I you know, to have 5 games, like, this is an amazing thing. 5 games. Every game had 2 goals. Technically, one game had 3 goals, but I'm going to get into that in a little bit. Actually, not technically, it did. I did see the puck cross. It fucking crossed. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just get into it now. That fucking puck, okay, in Game 5, it crossed the line. Okay, there's a clear picture of it passing on. Now they said they called the whistle afterwards or whatever. If the puck is still in motion, if the goalie is not on top of it, okay, why is the whistle being blown? Why? It's always something with the Leafs. It's always something with the Red. So let's be honest. The score should have been 3-2 us. Okay? It would have been the first game in this series that we got more than 2 goals. Okay, that's right. 5 games, no more than 2 goals. That's the limit. That's all we can do. And I've said for years, with the squad that we have right now, there's no excuse why we shouldn't have 3 goals every game. I don't care if we lose a game 4-3. We should have 3 goals every single game. That is a goal a period on average. Okay, we got some pretty good goaltending. Okay, what's the problem here? Now I get it. The Florida goalie Bobovsky, Malaka, fucking killed us this series. I mean, this guy is by far the best thing going for Florida. I don't give a shit. I mean, they got good players. Yeah, whatever. Matthew Tkachuk. I respect him, his brother, his father, whatever. It's all good there. I get it. But this fucking goalie, he's got horseshoes up his ass. I'm telling you, he's fucking good. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, you know, how many times did we hear the post? Okay, there's games there that could have gone either way. And again, you know, if you're a goalie, when you hear that post sound, it is just music to your ears. It's by far the sweetest sound you can hear if you're a goalie in a game. But at the same time, I hate to say this, I got to give him props. I mean, that guy fucking shut us down. That guy, forget it. I mean, all I'll say is this. I hope Florida wins the Stanley Cup. I really do. I hope they win. At least we can say we lost to the champs. And if that goalie doesn't get MVP, I don't know who will. But, you know what I mean? Maybe Kachuk will. I don't know. Who knows? But, that fucker killed us, man. I mean, absolutely killed us, you know. And then we lost our goalie there, and then you know, we had a Wall come in there, which I always thought was kind of funny because we had Grant Fuhr for years, played for the Leafs. What was his nickname? The Wall. Was it kind of a sign? I mean, who knows? But I thought he played great for the games he played. I mean, for the most part, it could have been way more goals that they had. against us for sure. I thought Wall did a great job, and I don't know what's going to happen with our goalies. I mean, we've got really 3 great goalies, so I don't know what's going to happen in the future there. But I don't know what's going to happen with the other 2. I'll be honest with you, but I think absolutely we should keep Wall. I think Wall could be the future. I mean, they even said the last time a rookie goalie started was Felix Potvin. Felix the Cat, man, that guy was one of my favorites growing up. Love that man. So I say definitely keep Wall, but that game 5, man. That again, ladies and gentlemen, years ago I got LASIK vision. Okay, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just saying when I see a puck cross a line, I'm not gonna miss it. Okay, again, Google the image. It clearly crossed the line. Again, I don't know why. What whistle is being blown? Why is it being blown at that time? I don't understand. I don't understand. And again, this could only fucking happen to the Leafs. Always. Only always. Only always. That's it. Okay? That's it. If it's not a call, even when we score more than 2 goals, it's still not enough. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And, they took at least 7-8 minutes to check it, and certain angles you couldn't tell, and then finally the one picture came out, and everybody was like, "What's the problem?" And then after it was done, "Oh, we got to move on. We got to think." It's like, okay, well, we got to move on. I get that, but I mean, a lot of us have been moving on since 1967. So how much longer do we got to fucking move on here? I mean, And we were playing on our home turf and we lost, and that's even worse. It's horrible. It is absolutely horrible. I mean, there's no fucking luck, And if anybody deserved that second goal, it was Morgan Riley. I mean, Morgan Riley, out of everybody on the team, I'm just gonna be honest with you, by far he was our biggest MVP. If you want to debate, Wall or our goaltending, whatever, cool. But I mean, Morgan Riley, man, that's another guy we got to keep for sure. And our big 4 there, we're just not producing as much as they should have, and a lot of people, whatever, giving a little shit to Mitch Marner, Tavares, and Nylander. Nylander, I feel bad for, especially in the second game, because it just felt like every few seconds I would hear his name shooting on the net. He's trying. He's just shooting, and nothing. Bupkis, and it just. I just want the goalie was fuck, man. I mean, I get it. He's a good goalie, but we have good players, and there's a couple times too, and I always say this too. I can barely skate, if not nothing, I never really played hockey. Actually, fuck, I never did. Well, ice hockey. I love road hockey. It's those are good old days. But even I know you don't pass in front of your own net ever. And the Leafs did that a lot. That was a big. It cost us a goal in one game there, and it just. To me, those are just rookie mistakes, bullshit stuff like that. It's gonna cost you a game, and I don't know. I just not good. There's shit like that. And let's just talk about one of the main problems is Mr. Matthews. I mean. When he got drafted, he got drafted number 1. We got number 1 pick. We're like, this is great. This is awesome. And, he's been a great player for us. He really has, during the regular season. Now, for some reason, I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's a psychological thing. I don't know if the pressure's getting to him. I don't know if this is his... I don't know. Maybe this is his way of saying, look, man, I don't want to be here. I'm under contract, whatever, but... first chance I get, I'm going back home to Arizona. I mean, I don't know. But, 5 games and no goals. And then, like I said before, he broke the Leaf record, the year before. And, had a pretty good season this year. And, it sucks. It really sucks. And I can't blame it 100% on him. You just can't. But at the same time, you're like 5 games, no goals, nothing. And he had a good couple chances. his last game here, but it just I don't know what it is with Matthews and just not performing in the playoffs. I don't know what it is. Like just it's literally Jekyll and Hyde, man. It's just like one guy's killing it, the other guy just disappears. Like I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, yeah. It's sad seeing that. It really is because I mean, there's times, yeah, he's really trying, but it just sucks. I mean, like I said, no goals, 5 games. And of course, a lot of people are blaming him and, saying, hey, if he got, at least a few goals, that could have made a difference. But then again, if a lot of our players got a few more goals, that would have made a huge difference. So, at first, I'm disappointed, and then the next day I'm just laughing because it's like, like, what am I disappointed? I mean, usually you're disappointed in something when you expect something to go your way. But if you're a Leaf fan and if you expect things to go your way, there's no reason why you should ever be disappointed in life. Never. Absolutely never. And the only thing I'm just pissed off about the Leafs is just the whole like the prices of tickets and it's not even like we won the cup a few years ago and they're still living off the juice, you know what I mean? But it's like it's one of the most expensive seats in the NHL and it's like why? I mean, what are you giving us? Like why? Like I almost hate to say this, ladies and gentlemen, but it's time for a big change. And I think I've mentioned this before. I remember years ago, being in the car with my dad, about to approach Woodbine and Danforth, if you know the Toronto area, Greek town, a little more east than that, but obviously, I remember we were listening to the radio, and if you're a millennial, Google radio. It was quite the invention at the time. And we heard, the Leafs do a trade 5 for 5, and we look at each other like, did the radio just say 5 for 5? The Leafs did a trade for 5 for 5 players. And it's basically like trading like one team to another for just going to different cities. That's all that is. And this is how we got like Doug Gilmour and all that. And it was a great few years, man. I mean, Dougie, everybody loves Dougie. Everybody loves Dougie. Doesn't matter if he's wearing the milk tights from the commercial. Who cares? Doesn't matter. That guy's a tough motherfucker, man. I think he still has a motorcycle. It's fucking awesome. But the point is, I'm not saying we got to do a 5 for 5 trade, but I'm even seeing this thing on YouTube. That TSN says end of an era. And. It's again, I'll give you guys another saying. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. How many fucking times do we got to be fooled here? So maybe we got some great players. And it's sad to say this, but it's clearly not working. It's just not working. So I don't know. Maybe Matthews just got to go. Maybe a few other players got to go. I know their contracts coming up, all that. And I don't know I mean... It's going to be crazy the next few years with a couple Toronto franchises, with the Raptors, but the Leafs too. I mean, who's going to stay, who's going to go, and I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just finally time for a change-up. I mean, again, maybe we don't have to do. Fuck it, maybe we should do a 5 for 5 deal. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Make a trade with Edmonton. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, who knows? But yeah, I mean, it's something. This isn't working. This clearly is not working, and we got great players, like I said. But I always said you can have great players on the team, but if they don't gel together, you're going to be shit. It doesn't matter. So I'm not saying these guys aren't gelling together, but I mean, it's been many years of this, and it's just clearly not working. And I don't know. Just seeing some of these guys being interviewed after, like, I get it. They're defeated after a game. They're tired and all that, especially playing overtime. And yeah, it's always fun losing in overtime, especially in the playoffs. And then it's always fun, having the one Florida player yell at your goalie for some reason, because he's fucking sociopath. Who knows? I don't know if he is, but just I don't know. The beard, it's very scary. It's clearly we I don't know the Mitch Marner beard is it looks like pubes compared to that one. But the point is, it's not working. Okay, so I'm assuming this summer, fall, whatever, expect some changes. Okay, maybe the coach will be fired too. I don't know. Didn't he say he started a third line in an overtime playoff? Like, who does that? I mean, like, no offense, man, but I mean, I don't know, man. Like when you see Nylander on the bench and like you're about to start like an overtime playoff. And I would say out of all the all the people, like I'm putting up Riley, Nylander too. I think these guys really played fucking hard. I think there were more the noticeable players for sure in this playoff. And when you see them on the bench starting, when the playoffs about to or the overtime's about to start there, you get a little nervous, man. You're like, really? Okay, so maybe the Leaf organization just doesn't give a shit either. I don't know. Maybe they just maybe it's just all about money and But then you think to yourself, like, why wouldn't you want to go further in the playoffs? That's where you make all this extra money. People are spending like fucking thousands of dollars for these tickets. I mean, why wouldn't you want to make more money? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand the logic there. So I don't know. This whole team is fucked. It just. They're blue, I'm blue, we're all fucking blue here. I don't know. Fuck. I don't know. I don't know anymore, guys. But what I do know is that, I do know something. Something's got to change. Okay? I think unless we do some major trades, I just get used to this shit. I mean, I don't know. That's why I do so many of these. There's no point. I'm just fucking repeating myself again and again and again, and I don't have to do another one of these till. Actually, fuck it. I'm not gonna watch any games next year either. I don't know, unless we get some brand new players or something, maybe. But I don't know. Other than that, don't expect another one of these podcasts until like I don't know, at least next winter or spring. But yeah, I mean, something's got to change. Let's just. We got defeated here, but let's be honest. For many years, we've just been we've been defeated already. So something's got to change. I'm sure people are going to get traded or possibly fired. Who knows? But it's the key word in this organization for the next 3-4 months is change. So that's the best advice I can give the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I don't know what else to say, guys. What else can you say? Except I've waited for a cup since 1982, but I think most of us have been truly disappointed since 1967. Part 5.
7.5 minutes since that all happened, and it's going to be a few more minutes now with the ice crew out, cleaning out the debris that was tossed on the ice.
It's safe to say if the call hadn't been goal on the ice, it would have been call on the ice stand.
You're right, and I find that interesting that the situation room with all the cameras you would think would have the last call on anything, but you go back to a call that's made in the heat of the moment very quickly by the official.
Oh, shit!